Hello and welcome to a very special video. Once again, I am joined by the wonderful, magnificent Farvifian Guard. How's it going, Farvifian?
It's going.
I want to talk about two things right now. Now, there's been a rumor going around that there's going to be a recall on the Saturnine box. That's one. And the
Hmm.
other one is an epiphany I had, and I want to suggest a video for people to check out. And that is I've been for a long time trying to figure out what's up with Warhammer and the market direction they're going for. And I think this video pretty much hits the nail on the head. So let's start out with the little bit about Saturnine. Um, so there's been a rumor that's been circling around a little bit that there's going to be a recall because of just how bad the launch of third edition Horus Heresy was.
And we know
And
factually at least that part is true.
it's it's been an ugly release. Everything we can see from a standpoint of sales and stock, it just doesn't look like it was a good leap into a new edition or 40Kizing Horus Heresy, which I would just straight up against. But
Hmm.
I would be curious because I can't remember Games Workshop recalling anything ever. Now I'm probably wrong,
Not as
but
long as we've been involved in it. I'll say that much at least.
that's been a long time. But man,
Yeah.
I do think it's funny. I think it's funny that the rumors there. I think if there was anything, it would be a reboxing
Plausible.
where they'd be like they'd rebox it and try to get it out there. But I
And
don't know.
ooh, I don't know.
Like
I'm also not sure that would help, but I wouldn't say they wouldn't do it.
I could see them doing that. But honestly, I don't know when it comes down to it. I really don't see them
Yeah.
doing it. It seems more hopeful. I can be wrong. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it has this air of this hopefulness as much as the PDF that they released, the Legacies one, which just
Mm.
is like if you consider that a win, guys, uh, just don't watch baseball or sports at all, please, because you don't understand what winning is. I don't mean that to be insulting, but getting a PDF of all the stuff they decided to axe out of the main rule books isn't a win because it just means it's 1 foot out or 1 foot into the grave, effectively. Uh,
Basically.
and honestly, when I look at the system, I go, "Wow, they really don't want the people who are buying it to be involved in it." But that ties to a degree into this thing I had and a bit of epiphany watching. So, Farv, discovered I think a day or two ago, this Wii War Game channel. Now, I've only watched
Right.
one of their videos. I don't know much about the content, so I can't say anything about that. But he has a
Fair.
video, and it says, let me check the title real quick as I stall for time. What happened to Games Workshop models? Now, in this, he
Mm.
has a Blood Bowl pack that he got sent for review by one of his subscribers, and he
Okay.
talks about like the mono pose and all that, and he goes into what the things he dislikes about what Games Workshop does, but I think he puts a good pin on something. I've been complaining about they don't seem to want the people buying the game that are buying it. And he made a
Yeah, and we've
comment
discussed that before too. So
that went along the lines of they are focusing everything on the entry level purchaser. And it suddenly all clicked. It all
which
suddenly made sense.
frankly, and I know I mentioned this when we discussed this earlier, is an astonishingly terrible idea to base your entire line around entry level people when your line is so prohibitively expensive.
Well, yeah, but when people keep paying the prices, I also would say there's some other factors in there, but it does make
Probably.
sense in that they have identified that the people that they make the most money off of in general, not that there aren't people who long-term buyers who make more money. just in general, when you average it all out, that first time purchaser, their parents bring them in, they buy something, they sell them a half dozen things that are around it. Oh, well, you're going to need this kit and these paints and this primer and these tools and all blah, 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 blah. It's all stacked up so that they can sell this whole ridiculously expensive
And I
package.
realize the Nottingham office is full of short-sighted morons and corporate sycophantic twats, but this is not a good long-term strategy. You only get to do that once.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you're also going to
You're
burn
gonna run out of
people.
people.
Well, this is the thing, and I've complained about it a lot because I said you need a firm foundation of people who are going to be
Mm-hmm.
there while you still need to rotate new people in.
Yep.
The problem is that they are, it seems like, and I'm going to agree with this, in my opinion, it looks like they're full churn and burn. Just get someone in the door, sell them as much garbage as you can, get them out the door. It doesn't matter if they come back. We don't care. And it's the reason why they've gotten rid of all their incentive programs and their programs to really keep people around, because it's just churn and burn. And that works for a while, but the reason it can't be sustained, it's like firing a rocket into space. You have the one first, you have the big liftoff ignition, then you're going to have a second one, then you have a third, and then you dump all of the stuff that got you up into orbit. And what I
Yeah.
think they're trying to do is they're trying to use this churn and burn to launch themselves into the mainstream and then just dispossess themselves of the hobby altogether.
Which is incredibly stupid because they have no business in the mainstream. They have no clue what the fuck they're doing.
They will be devoured within instants. And like people have said, they are a big player in a small pool, but they aren't a massive player. And as soon as they get out into the general media, they're going to be devoured. But I don't think
Mm-hmm.
the people involved care. So it was an interesting video from the standpoint of hearing someone go over a number of the same things I talked about and actually kind of put a pin in some of them. But I think between these two things is, you see with Horus Heresy, for example, you
Mm-hmm.
see that they wanted to keep the hype and the, well, let's just say, not reveal everything to the older players of Heresy, because they wanted them
Uh-huh.
to be there to help generate the hype and get
Yep.
people more excited and keep the boxes harder to get
Keep
so
those
that they
shills
can
shilling.
then lurch in the new player base. So by the time the old players realize it's a game they don't want, they already have these new people in, and they're like, "What was success? Goodbye," and they just have all of these what I'm going to refer to, in their opinion, is obnoxious, over opinioned, overly demanding customers. And that's not what they are, but it's
It's
this really
not.
simple thing. They don't want customers with standards. It's the reason they want the newer 40K stuff, because a lot of the bad practices in newer 40K have been effectively just kind of accepted by that audience, and they're still having trouble. So it's a
Yeah.
ridiculous thing when you think about all of this. Is we're looking at a company that is just trying to churn and burn itself into the orbit of, you know, mainstream. We have talks about a major release just going down in flames to the point where people are even circulating a recall on the product. That's
Which I
crazy.
don't know about all that, but
I could
I
see
don't.
Games Workshop repackaging.
Yeah, I don't know about a recall, repackage maybe, and even then, I'm not sure that they're even going to bother with
Yeah.
that.
I'm really wrong before. I didn't think Saturnine was going to be in this box.
Mm,
Full on. Just didn't think Saturnine were going to be a thing. And I was wrong there, but it's really hard to swallow the idea that Games Workshop would recall this product line, even with what they've faced in like backlash. I think the fact that there's a certain segment of the player base who will take the measly morsel they got in the legacies, call it a win, and then just swallow the poison pill and keep going. And that'd be good enough for Games Workshop. And I don't know. It's one of the most disheartening things when it comes down to all of this, and you talk about uh, when you talk about Warhammer anything anymore. It's just
Basically.
you end up going, who is this for? Why is it so expensive? Why don't they care at all for the people who've been consistently buying it and consistently interested? And then you deal with the thing that the folks that all they want to hear is a positive reinforcement because for some reason their entire personality is Warhammer, and you have to
Well,
say positive things or otherwise they got an issue with it or
and
some garbage.
as we've mentioned in other things that we've dealt with, it's the same things that have happened with Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek. You get these shilly or just completely willfully ignorant jackasses who only want to hear good things about X product, and otherwise they call you a hater or they claim you're lying or all this other stupid conspiratorial bullshit. Because
Well,
apparently they just don't want to face it. I don't know what the
Lord
logic is there.
forbid I try to make the thing better.
Yeah,
But I think it's because people can't take criticism on their own bad purchases and habits. And hey, I do dumb things all the time, and I'm used to getting
everybody
criticized.
does.
But it's one of the most frustrating things when you talk about like a major franchise like Warhammer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just look, there's all of these failings, there's all of these problems, and if no one ever mentions it, none of it ever gets fixed. And I think that's the
Nope.
problem is that a lot of these folks would be okay with it not being fixed. Just my
Ugh.
personal opinion on that one. But you know, I guess we're just gonna leave it there. Um, I just wanted to throw that out there, complain a little bit about what was going on, talk just a little bit about the Saturnine recall rumor, and talk about the Wii War game kind of thing where it's like, yeah, a lot of this is seems to be focused on the most vulnerable people they can find who don't know anything to sell them a bunch of schlock and then kick them out the door as soon as possible. So you want to add anything, Farv, or
I got nothing on that one, man. I
Okay.
I thought about as little of it as you could because at this point I couldn't care if the company's shadow went blind.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining me, Farv. I know that you have a book on Amazon. So, guys, check that out. It's the Farvifia.
Farvithia Chronicle 1 and 2.
Awesome. And we'll try to put a link in that if people would like to see. I'll put a link on for his channel. And thanks for joining me. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Later.